In this video, I will teach you how to cut your own tiles for the VCube 6 and 7 using uncut tile material from Cubesmith.com. Now, just in case you don't know about tiles or anything, Cubesmith.com sells cut tiles for the Ishin 2x2, 3x3 cubes, 4x4s, and 5x5s. But as for the VCube 6 and 7, they don't. Although they did post on their website that they are looking into tiles for the VCube 6 and 7. But just in case it doesn't work out, you will have this tutorial to go to cut your own tiles. Now, just in case you don't know where to buy the uncut material, first off, go to Cubesmith.com. And then click on Tiles here. And then for the uncut material, click here. And actually, an easier way to get into this web page is just to go back to my YouTube video here and click the more info in the movie description and then click on this link right here and it takes you right to it. And now these tile sheets do measure 3 square inches, and that's just enough for one side of the V-cube. So you will only need one tile sheet for each side, and you can't get 2 sides worth of tiles from just one sheet. So here are the different options for the different sheets you want to get. If you've got a black cube, you want to make sure to get the white tiles. And if you've got a white cube, you want to make sure to get the black tiles. And then just go ahead and choose whether or not you want smooth or textured tiles. I prefer smooth myself because I think I would just like the smooth feel a lot better than having the textured grip that you would have on the cubes. And an interesting note is that if you got 12 sheets to fit the 12 sides for the VCube 6 and 7, it adds up to an even $15, and then you would get free shipping. So after you place your order, go back to my YouTube video here, and in the description, click on this link, where it'll take you to a forum topic, where I've got attachments for the guidelines that you will need to cut the tiles. Now here's the topic, so scroll down to the bottom of my post, and here are the attachments. You can download it for the VCube 6 here in Microsoft Office Word, and then here are the VCube 7 tiles. And then here are the tiles that were originally created in Microsoft Office Publisher. So if you want to edit them, just go ahead and download this. So for the VCube 6 tiles, just download them. And I'll save them to my desktop. Okay, so after you've downloaded them, for the VCube 6, open up this document. Then here you can see the guidelines for all 6 sides, and just note that there's these little gray lines to help you distinguish between the pieces after you've cut them. Okay, so just go to print, although things may look a little different for you if you're using Word 2007. And then just go ahead and print the document. Okay, and then for the VCube 7, just do the same thing. So after you get your uncut tile material and your guidelines printed out, you will need the following items. A paper cutter, so that you will be able to cut the guidelines and the tile material with it. Double-sided Scotch or silicone tape for sticking the guidelines onto the tile material. And then a nail clipper for cutting off each corner of every tile that you cut. And trust me, you want to do that because it'll look better, and having sharp corners just may not feel too well when solving it. And as for peeling off the old stickers and putting on the new tiles, refer to my tutorial on how to replace Rubik's Cube stickers for that, because in this video I will just be telling you on how to cut the tiles. Okay, now with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, I will show you how to cut the tiles for the VCube 6 first, and then I will do it for the VCube 7 afterwards. So take your guidelines and then just cut out one of the squares as straight as you can. Okay, so you should cut it out just like this. They need to be perfectly straight along those lines. Okay, and then take your double-sided tape and then just put 3 strips on the back here. Okay, just like that. 3 nice, good strips of tape. And one thing I forgot to say earlier is that you need a pair of scissors. So just take them and cut off the excess tape over the edges. There we go, just like that. And then take your tile sheet here and then just put it on right next to one of the corners. There we go. And notice there is a little bit of yellow still up there, but that's okay. Just try to get it on as straight as possible. You want to make sure that you cut everything very straight, otherwise minor imperfections might be noticeable. Okay, now we need to cut off the excess tile material, and you can plainly see that there is only enough tile material for one sheet. So take the tile sheet and hold it very tightly because the tile material is rather thick and it likes to move as you cut it. So hold it as still as possible and cut as straight as possible. There we go, that looks good. And then I'm just going to use scissors to cut along the other side because you can't really get a good grip on it like this. So just take your scissors and cut along the line as straight as possible. And there we go. And just a note, with this extra tile material, you can cut more tiles just in case you make a big screw up on one tile and you want to cut a new one. Okay, and I'm gonna cut off the extra yellow that I talked about on one side. There, see, wasn't that much, but... Okay, now I'll start cutting the tile material into 6 strips. There we go, just like that, so do that for the other 5 strips. Okay, and for the last 3 strips, you're gonna have to go ahead and use the scissors because you just can't get a good enough grip on it while cutting it with the paper cutter. Okay, now go ahead and start cutting them into the individual tiles. And again, for the last few, just cut them with the scissors. Okay, now time to cut off the corners with the nail clipper and to put the tiles on the cube. Now I put my strips into nice little piles here to keep them just a little bit organized. So I'm going to take a corner here and then peel off the paper, the guidelines on it. Then take your nail clipper and then just barely cut off the corner. You don't want to do it too much. So just like there, that much. Yep, that looks about good. So go ahead and do that for the other 4 corners. Now you don't want to cut off too much, otherwise they will look like the black side on my VCube 6. Now you can plainly tell that I cut the corners way too much. They've got like a circular look to them now. So they should look like these tiles, like on the green side. Oh, and another thing, this tile here is a little bit crooked. Just cut off the excess tile material so that it will be straight. And then use your nail clipper to cut off the newly formed corners. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So go ahead and start putting on the tiles on your cubes, just making sure to correct any pieces that might be a little crooked. There we go. I'll let you get a close-up of it. Not completely perfect, but I think it turned out alright. A lot better than what happened with the black side. I think I'll try to get some leftover tile material from the black side and the leftover tile material that I'll have from the VCube 7 and try to replace those. Okay, now let's go on to the VCube 7. Okay, so you just cut it out the same way you did with the VCube 6 tiles, and I've currently got all the sides done except for the yellow again. Okay, now with the scissors, go ahead and cut off the extra paper or the extra tiles on all the edges, and just a note, each tile, the edge has a different angle. It's not a complete straight line, just so that you know. And use the scissors instead of the paper cutter. And after that's done, just cut them in strips the same way you did with the V-Cube 6 tiles. There we go. Okay, so I finished putting the tiles on my V-Cube 7, and it turned out pretty well. I also made a time-lapse video of me cutting all the tiles and putting them on this cube, so you can check that out if you want. So yes, these are really nice. Now I don't have to worry about the stickers anymore on my cubes. So, this concludes the tutorial.